from the bank that brought you debit card fees and foreclosed on active duty troops.
Oh, we were finally able to get through to you, sir.
I'm kinda occupied right now.
Ah!
Go, 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 go!
Well, it sounds like somebody's having a blast. In my ear.
Now Bank of America wants you to die before they modify.
Hi, I'm Dee, and ever since I was a little kid, I've always been into photography and videography. Basically, I'm the guy that the cute neighbor will call to ask me to make a video of her jogging so she can later post it online to find a new boyfriend. At least my photography and videography helped me supplement my income, and I was finally able to afford a little place that I call my own. Things were pretty good, and then the economic crisis hit. And like so many other Americans, my home's value went down along with some of my take-home pay. But the hardest part was being locked into a high interest rate loan and not being able to refinance because home values had dropped so dramatically. Fortunately, a new program called HAMP was introduced to help Americans keep their homes. HAMP allows existing high interest rate loans to be lowered by your current bank. I just had to contact my current lender, Bank of America, and get my loan modified. It was a fairly straightforward process. I just had to fill out my application and provide my tax returns, pay stubs, and self-employment income, bank statements, and homeowners association documentation. Simple enough. But a couple of weeks later, I received a call from the bank, as well as an email requesting more documents. This time they wanted homeowners association documentation, self-employment income, pay stubs, bank statements, and tax returns. Hey, Bank of America, that's the same list. It's just in a different order. Whatever. I just submitted it all again anyway. Finally, I got an overnight delivery from Bank of America, and it looked important. But when I opened it up, it was a letter requesting the same documents. But this time there was a twist. This time, they wanted my death certificate. At first, I gave Bank of America the benefit of the doubt, thinking this just must be a mistake. I immediately contacted the bank to inform them that not only am I still alive, but that I am and have always been the only borrower on the loan. They confirmed that they knew this from my existing loan and my loan modification application. And through several phone calls, letters, and emails, my loan manager promised that he would take care of it, and he reported it to his manager, and she reported it to her supervisor. More on all of that later. Meanwhile, here is an actual scan of the first letter. It says they need important information, and they give me 30 days to get it to them. Dear me, thank you, etc., etc. Please submit the following information for each borrower, which in this case is me, since I am the only borrower on the loan. Tax returns, pay stub, sound familiar? Self-employment income documentation, bank statements. What kind of game is this? I've submitted all of these multiple times. Child support? What? Bank of America, you're like the Billie Jean of banking. I don't have kids. I never requested that, and that's just a bold-faced lie. Death certificate? Wait, stop the music. A copy of the death certificate of the deceased borrower? Now that's just morbid and mean. Thanks, Bank of America Home Loan Team. Wow. A simple financial transaction with Bank of America had just turned rather creepy. I had heard that some banks had been playing games by requesting non-existent documents in order to delay the loan modification process. But the banks that were playing these games did it to force struggling borrowers to fall behind and ultimately into foreclosure, therefore taking their homes and prolonging the housing crisis. But what would Bank of America stand to gain from that type of horrific behavior? Oh yeah, my house. Remember that I told you that I had reported my concerns to the bank about the death certificate request? Well, initially my loan manager said he was shocked and that this was horrible. He asked for the date of the letter and he pulled it up in their system and he read it back to me. Well, a couple of weeks later, they denied sending me the letter saying that it had somehow disappeared. They went as far as to ask me to send the death certificate request back to them in order to prove that they had sent the letter to me in the first place. Yeah. Talk about misdirection and time-wasting tactics. After more than a month of back and forth and letters and calls and a major runaround, they sent me a new letter. Can you guess what they wanted now? My death certificate. Again. But this time it was worse. Now they wanted a non-existent death benefit statement to go along with the re-requested death certificate. I was done reporting the bank's harassment and delay tactics to the bank itself. It was just getting worse. So I filed a complaint with the Office of the Currency Controller because I was starting to feel as though I was in a horror film. It was like,
Bank of America wants you to die before they modify. So, what would you do?
How can I help you?
I'm here to acquire a death certificate.
Date of expiration for the deposit.
Sorry, what was that?
The date that the dearly departed.
Put the day if you would.
Whom is the death certificate for?
Whom is me? Put it for myself.
Yourself.
And now you're judging me. Yes.
Yourself.
Yes.
as of today, 11 million American homeowners are underwater on their home loans. And that fact is the single largest obstacle to a meaningful economic recovery. This story is for them. Meanwhile, America's largest bank, Bank of America, continues to play games, such as repeatedly requesting death certificates from living borrowers, along with other delay tactics instead of modifying their customers' home loans to aid in the economic recovery. Please subscribe to find out what the bank did next in part 2, because the saga continues and the fight goes on. Leave a comment on YouTube or join us at bankingbad.com to comment in the Banking Bad forum.